The Irrational Season 2 aired its finale Tuesday, April 25 on NBC. The series was created for television by Erica Lizan Mittman and loosely based on the real life of Dan Orley. It stars Jesse L. Martin as Alec, a world-renowned professor of behavioral science who works alongside varying clients ranging from the FBI to everyday people caught in perplexing situations desperate for answers. Mara Hill, Trevina Springer, Karen David, Molly Coons, Arosh Damaxi, and Max Lloyd-Jones are also included in the main cast. In October 2024, Screen Rant was invited to visit the set of The Irrational Season 2 in Vancouver, Canada. The cast was in the middle of shooting the highly anticipated musical-themed episode, which aired as a prelude to the finale. Screen Rant spoke with Jesse L. Martin and Karen David at the theater, as well as the rest of the main cast while on the Wilton University set. Jesse L. Martin wanted Alec to keep his scars. And Karen David enjoys the vulnerable scenes it creates between their characters. The irrational Alec facing Rose with his hands on her face like they're about to kiss. Whether Alec would choose to remove his scar was a reoccurring plotline throughout The Irrational Season 2. Mittman wanted to tell a story about a male having discomfort with his body and the reality of how he feels about himself with his scars and how he feels in a new relationship. Martin shares that the scar is a visual representation of what Alec has suffered, and the character questions if they symbolize a badge of honor or a badge of trauma. While Mittman reassured Martin that Alec would be keeping the scar, it was a journey that fueled much of the emotion behind the second season. Karen David shares that it's important for Alec to feel like he's in a safe space with Rose. Not all scars are physical, and Rose has trauma of her own. David loves filming vulnerable moments with Martin, as the scenes between their characters are grounded and deeply touching. The Irrational Season 2 embraces the Case of the Week format. Mittman enjoys the formula of not having a formula. The irrational Alec, Marissa, Kylie, and a client looking at something off-screen. When asked what the writers learned through filming the first season, Mittman says that telling different episodic stories every week works best for the series. The showrunner acknowledges that the Case of the Week format is used in many procedurals, but it allows every new installment to be different. However, the show doesn't shy away from personal stories, and instead finds a balance. Mittman tells Screen Rant in a post-finale interview that The Irrational is a very character-driven procedural, as indicated by Alec and Rose's storylines. Alec doesn't work for any particular law enforcement agency and gets cases both informally and formally. Mara Hill and Trevina Springer were excited to explore their characters' sisterhood. The characters have a personal and professional relationship in Season 2. Blended image of Marissa and Kylie in The Irrational Season 2, Episode 10 custom image by Yaelin Chacon. Kylie and Marissa had a close relationship as in-laws, and The Irrational Season 1 sees them maintain their bond. The writers have done a really nice job in Season 2 displaying what a relationship can look like after divorce, Springer says. The sisterhood that existed doesn't dissolve just because a marriage dissolved. I think seeing what it can evolve into has been really nice. While sharing Springer's sentiment, Hill also adds that their characters' Season 2 dynamic allowed the actors to grow closer off-screen. There is a tone meeting for each episode of The Irrational. The writers don't want the show to feel too dark. Production designer, Eric Fraser, and set decorator, Bradley Lang, share that there is a tone meeting before filming each episode of The Irrational. The team originally developed a look that was too dark for network television, and a balance had to be established to instill a hopeful feeling. When the mystery is solved at the end of the hour, they'll warm up the setting and allow the scene to breathe. However, given the nature of the crimes, a somber tone is sometimes required. Other than destroying the school, there were no major changes to the physical sets between Seasons 1 and 2. The Irrational had already established a look that both viewers and NBC enjoyed, making altercations unnecessary. The crew focused on helping bring more exciting and intense stories to life as the show continued with its sophomore run. Molly Coons and Arosh Damaxi feel their characters have a real friendship in Indiana Season 2. The pair previously had a sibling rivalry. Molly Coons as Phoebe, Max Lloyd-Jones as Simon, and Arosh Damaxi as Rizwan in The Irrational Season 2. Phoebe and Rizwan have been Alec's research assistants since the beginning of The Irrational, but a strong bond didn't form between them until later on. In the very beginning of Season 1, I'm new to the job, and I don't think our characters know each other that well, Damaxi says. Meanwhile, Coons refers to the time Rizwan helped Phoebe through a panic attack to emphasize the turning point in their relationship. The Irrational Season 2 adds Simon, Max Lloyd-Jones, to the cast, turning the research assistant team into a trio. He begins a romance with Phoebe, allowing Damaxi to play as the third wheel. I've had to figure out how I feel about it without it just being given to me on the page, and that's fun as an actor to create that, Damaxi says. What's in store for Phoebe and Rizwan's relationship is up in the air, as the stars are also interested to see where it goes.